words like employee, payee, and detainee support the generalization crudely stated that words with the ending E designate the person affected in the specified way by an action performed by someone else. So words that end in E mean that the person that we're talking about is being affected by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
The word absentee seems to be a direct counterexample. It ends in E, yet if it makes sense to hear to speak of an action at all, that of absenting oneself, perhaps the word can refer to the person who actually performs the action. So our issue with absentee is like there's only one person, so and you're doing it yourself, so it's like no one else is doing this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, however, putting forward the following resolves the impasse. If a word with the ending E refers to one party in a two-party transaction, it refers to a party at which the other party's action is directed. So our conclusion here is clearly putting forward the following resolves the impasse.
Okay.
So the argument does which of the following in dealing with the counterexample it offers. So what is our counterexample here?
The counterexample, I believe, is the discussion of absentee.
Yes. And so what do we do in order to deal with or handle the word, to deal with the counterexample?
Note that if it refers to a party in a two-party transaction, it refers to the party at which the other party's action is directed. So that last sentence is
So
how
what
we
would
deal
you
with
call that? Like what is the function of this?
it. I guess to acknowledge and allow for a one-party exemption to our explanation.
Yeah, it's like further clarification, right? It like makes it
Yeah.
work. It makes our original rule work. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and start with A.
Okay. It provides additional support for the original generalization, in part by showing that the supposed force of the counterexample derives from misanalysis of that example. I don't know if it's trying. I don't think that sounds right to me because of misanalysis of that example.
And it doesn't provide additional support. Like our counterexample does not support the original generalization.
Yeah.
So it's not A.
Okay, so B dismisses the counterexample on the grounds that its force compared to the weight of its compared to the weight of the supporting evidence is insignificant. I don't think it's trying to show that it's insignificant either. It's not dismissing the counterexample.
The absentee example is dumb because nobody uses that word. Like we don't say that.
Yeah, I mean, like the only time I've heard it used really is absentee voting, and even like it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that I don't think that's right. C concedes that the proposed counterexample is an exception to the generalization, but maintains the generalization on the grounds that all generalizations have exceptions. That sounds right to me.
Okay, I like the first half of this where it says
Yeah.
concedes that the proposed counterexample is an exception to the generalization. But do we do that by saying all generalizations have expectations?
Yeah, no, we don't.
Exceptions, I mean exceptions. Yeah, no.
Also,
So
coincidentally, I just pulled up my notes. I did pick C for this one.
it's a tricky wrong answer here.
Yeah.
It's because we don't. That's not how we justify our exception.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
everybody's doing it, Mom. Like no.
Okay, so D narrows the scope of the generalization issue in such a way that the putative counterexample is no longer relevant. It does do that.
Yeah. We like break down the generalizations and we like add more clarifying items that make it work. So the counterexample is no longer relevant because it doesn't fit into our new rule.
Okay, yeah, so that I mean I can go through E, but E is already immediately just in that first, the opening is already wrong.
Affected in a specified way by the action with that of having someone's to be spurious. Like not no.
Yeah, so it's definitely B.
Correct.
Okay.